graphic material, including offensive language. Discretion is advised.
Alrighty there, ladies and gentlemen. We are back with another Chop Shop Rap. Keeping it real. Where do babies come from? Why do I bring this up? Y'all might ask. Well, some people apparently don't know where babies come from. They apparently don't. So before I get into this, ladies and gentlemen, first and foremost, let me go ahead. Well, no, we're going to do this way. We just going to put it this way. I want y'all folks to hear what I was in the stream earlier, just listening to it. I just happened to drop in again. When you ain't got nothing to do, folks, damn it, sometimes shit happens. And I went into this stream, ladies and gentlemen, and lo and behold, what did I see? What did I hear? Folks saying that sperm is not important. It's not an important part of the building block of life. It's an afterthought. It's fertilizer, and that's it. Women can conceive without having their egg fertilized. This is the argument that you're about to hear here in a little while. But before we go any further with that, folks, let's just, so I think I know what I'm talking about. Let's just look at this video right here first, all right?
Fertilization is the epic story of a single sperm facing incredible odds to unite with an egg and form a new human life. It is the story of all of us. During sexual intercourse, about 300 million sperm enter the vagina. Soon afterward, millions of them will either flow out of the vagina or die in its acidic environment. However, many survive because of the protective elements provided in the fluid surrounding them. Next, the sperm must pass through the cervix, an opening into the uterus. Usually, it remains tightly closed, but here the cervix is open for a few days while the woman ovulates. The sperm swim through the cervical mucus, which is thinned to a more watery consistency for easier passage. Once inside the cervix, the sperm continues swimming toward the uterus, though millions will die trying to make it through the mucus. Some sperm remain behind, caught in the folds of the cervix, but they may later continue the journey as a backup to the first group. Inside the uterus, muscular uterine contractions assist the sperm on their journey toward the egg. However, resident cells from the woman's immune system, mistaking the sperm for foreign invaders, destroy thousands more. Next, half the sperm head for the empty fallopian tube, while the other half swim toward the tube containing the unfertilized egg. Now, only a few thousand remain. Inside the fallopian tube, tiny cilia push the egg toward the uterus. To continue, the sperm must surge against this motion to reach the egg. Some sperm get trapped in the cilia and die. During this part of the journey, chemicals in the reproductive tract cause the membranes covering the heads of the sperm to change. As a result, the sperm become hyperactive, swimming harder and faster toward their destination. At long last, the sperm reach the egg. Only a few dozen of the original 300 million sperm remain. The egg is covered with a layer of cells called the corona radiata. The sperm must push through this layer to reach the outer layer of the egg, the zona pellucida. When sperm reach the zona pellucida, they attach to specialized sperm receptors on the surface, which triggers their acrosomes to release digestive enzymes, enabling the sperm to burrow into the layer. Inside the zona pellucida is a narrow, fluid-filled space just outside the egg cell membrane. The first sperm to make contact will fertilize the egg. After a perilous journey and against incredible odds, a single sperm attaches to the egg cell membrane. Within a few minutes, their outer membranes fuse and the egg pulls the sperm inside. This event causes changes in the egg membrane that prevent other sperm from attaching to it. Next, the egg releases chemicals that push other sperm away from the egg and create an impenetrable fertilization membrane. As the reaction spreads outward, the zona pellucida hardens, trapping any sperm unlucky enough to be caught inside. Outside the egg, sperm are no longer able to attach to the zona pellucida. Meanwhile, inside the egg, the tightly packed male genetic material spreads out. A new membrane forms around the genetic material, creating the male pronucleus. Inside, the genetic material reforms into 23 chromosomes. The female genetic material, awakened by the fusion of the sperm with the egg, finishes dividing, resulting in the female pronucleus, which also contains 23 chromosomes. As the male and female pronuclei form, spiderweb-like threads, called microtubules, pull them toward each other. The two sets of chromosomes join together, completing the process of fertilization. At this moment, a unique genetic code arises, instantly determining gender, hair color, eye color, and hundreds of other characteristics. This new single cell, the zygote, is the beginning of a new human being. And now the cilia in the fallopian tube gently sweep the zygote toward the uterus, where he or she will implant in the rich uterine lining, growing and maturing for the next 9 months until ready for birth.
Alrighty there, ladies and gentlemen. Now, for those who were wondering, well, why did you get that history lesson just now? Why did you give us that history lesson music? Well, for some reason or the other, some people believe that without a woman can conceive without male sperm, that a woman can have a child without male sperm. If you don't believe me, folks, you will hear this for yourself. And I recorded about 15 minutes of this before I had to get the fuck on, because I could not believe that these were grown men and women. There was a couple of them in there that just said, you know what, I'm not even going to argue with y'all about this. But that was the one that they were attacking. But y'all listen to this. Okay, here we go.
Get back to my girl.
Because if we watch men beat up on women,
Hello, I was trying to get back to my drill.
What up, Twin?
There was hey, Twin. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey,
How was your Thanksgiving?
I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but how's yours?
I don't.
You got a bunch of black men creating these tragic mulattoes out here, And this dude up here talking about in one breath saying that black women are going to breed, well, black men can breed black children, and that black women need to tread lightly on not birthing black kids because we're just going to erase ourselves, which we're not. But then he's up here complaining about biracial children who are fathered majority by black men. That's not a fact, though. It's actually not
any
a fact.
way for men that black women have babies outside of black men is going to come out that man's race.
Any woman that a black man chooses to lay up with is going to come out her race. That
No,
white
because
woman.
DNA test says 99.99% of the dad.
No, actually it doesn't, genius. I don't know where you getting from that.
Well, I got 3 DNA tests that I took and it says 99.9998% my kid.
Duh, idiot. They said it was your child. That's a
It don't say 50% of.
Now, let me ask you, so far, does anything this woman is saying make sense to you guys? After watching that video clip just now, that 5-minute clip or so just now, what argument could you possibly make up? What defense could you possibly have for deciding what a child is going to be? Now, remember, there was a time if you had a black father and a white mother, if you had whatever ounce of black blood in you, you were considered black. Now, to say that I'm wrong about this, I want you to go to the 2020 census and show me on where you can click the box that says I'm biracial. I didn't see that anywhere. Did you folks? I think it says I'm this, I'm white, I'm that, I'm this. As a matter of fact, hold on just a second. I think I can pull up something to prove just exactly what I'm saying. You guys listen to this while I go and find it.
That's
That's what
it's
for,
James. That's called a
listen.
test, dummy. Like,
That's what it's for, James.
Testing to see if somebody is your child and testing to see the percentage of black DNA that they have are two different things. It would be your child, but it's still primarily white. It took on her hormonal state, that is her white primarily child. You ain't creating nothing but a white person in 2 generations. That's what you're creating.
I can believe that, but we all come from sperm. That's all, we all sperm sit on this platform right now.
No, we're not. We're an egg. We're the egg.
Where did you come from? You come from the sperm first.
No, you don't. You come from the egg in the woman's body. No, you're not, dummy. Get into a biology book. Get into a biology book.
The egg already there, James. So we don't need
dummy. No,
the egg already there, James.
You're the egg in her body, dummy.
We gotta tell the truth now.
Idiot, you're the egg in her body. You're the egg.
Hold up.
The only thing the man is doing is turning you into a boy instead of a girl. That is what the man is doing. Yeah, he's an idiot. Like
So
you don't realize what fertilizer is.
Okay, folks, I'm going to back this up from the beginning so you see exactly what I'm talking about now, okay? Y'all listen very carefully.
Hello, I was trying to get back to my drill.
I'm going back to your drill.
There was hey, twin, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Hey, Kevin.
Good.
I don't celebrate Thanksgiving, but how's yours?
I don't.
You got a bunch of black men creating these tragic mulattoes out here, and this dude up here talking about in one breath saying that black women are gonna breed. Well, black men can breed black children, and that black women need to tread lightly on not birthing black kids because we're just gonna erase ourselves, which we're not. But then he's up here complaining about biracial children who are fathered majority by black men. That's not a fact, though. It's actually not
any
a fact.
way for men that black women have babies outside of black men is gonna come out that man's race.
Any woman that a black man chooses to lay up with is gonna come out her race. That
No,
white
because
woman.
DNA test says.
Well, how could that be right, Sinji? When according to the census, you're either white, you're African American, you're Asian, Indian, or whatever. Nowhere on the census form does it say biracial. And let's see exactly if I'm right about that. I went and see if I could find an actual 2020 census, whatchamacallit, and I do believe I have. Let's check it out. Let's see if I can find it right quickly. Yep, there it is. What is that right there? If you folks can read that, I don't have my glasses on, so I think if you could see this and if you could blow it up on your screen, you will see nowhere on there does it say anything about being biracial. It goes by white, African American, and one thing I noticed under the white right there, it said Egyptian. Brown-skinned people, how would you check being Caucasian? That's for another completely different stream. But if you keep scrolling down and looking at this, folks, nowhere does it say biracial. It asks you specifically who you are, and it also gives you some options to mix in there. But nowhere on the census form, in this 2020 census form anyway, does it say box check for biracial. So either you are going to identify by choice your mother's race or your father's race. And we know at one point in time it was the one drop rule. If you had one drop of black blood in you, you knew what you were. Black. Passers. Sprinkled all throughout United States history. And you hear somebody on a stream that thousands of people follow telling me that this is incorrect.
99.99% of the data.
No, actually it doesn't, genius. I don't know where you get that from.
Well, the 3 DNA tests that I took, it said 99.9998% my kids.
Duh, idiot. They said it was your child. That's a paternity test.
It don't say 50% of mine, 50% of mine.
That's what it's flood on, Jane.
That's called.
Well, what else would it say? It's your car?
Get back to my drill.
Because if we watch men,
which we're not. But then he's up here complaining about biracial children who are fathers majority by black men. That's not a fact, though. It's actually not
any
a fact.
race of men that black women have babies outside of black men is gonna come out that man's race.
Any woman that a black man chooses to lay up with is gonna come out her race. That white woman.
No, because DNA test says 99.99% of the data.
No, actually it doesn't, genius. I don't know where you get that from.
Well,
where are you
the 3
getting
DNA tests that I took, it says 99.9998% my kids.
Duh, idiot. They said it was your child. That's a paternity test.
It don't say 50% of mine, 50% of mine.
That's what it's flood on, Jane.
That's called a paternity test, dummy. Like, this is just remedial. Testing to see if somebody is your child and testing to see the percentage of black DNA that they have are two different things. Duh, it would be your child.
It doesn't make a difference whether the mother is white and the father is black. They both put up the same amount of DNA. You're half your mother and half your father. Did you not see this video that I just posted? I guess you didn't. Did you not pay attention in biology class? I guess you didn't. I guess you don't know what this 23me means. 23X. That means everyone has 23 chromosomes. And when they just get together, when the egg, the sperm fertilizes the egg and they get together, and between that union between the sperm and the egg, that determines who you are. It determines everything about you. You get half from your mama and half from your daddy. Or when have two women created a child? Somebody explain that one to me. When on God's green earth has two women laid down and procreated? Or when has two men laid down and procreated? When? On any life form level. There are some folks, some life form levels that can switch from being male to female dependent on a few things. But for the most part, we as humans, we need a man's sperm and a woman's egg to create someone that possibly looks like the mother or the father. There's no way around that. And you even heard those folks earlier, going back to another stream that I said, talking about this multiracial, person thing, this third person. No, when you go into that little womb, into that place where you're ready to come out, you are either male or female. You're not anything else. When you are birthed, whether through cesarean or natural birth, you are male or female. That's it. You're not transgender. You're not gay. You're not straight. You're not lesbian. You were born a male, live born male child or live born female child. Baby. But it gets worse. Listen.
But it's still primarily white. It took on her hormonal state. That is her white, primarily child. You ain't creating nothing but a white person. In 2 generations, that's what you're creating.
I can believe that, but we all come from sperm. That's all, we all sperm sit on this platform right now.
No, we're not. We're an egg. We're the egg.
Where did you come from? You come from the sperm first.
No, you don't. You come from the egg in the woman's body. No, you're not, dummy. Get into a biology book.
Wow. Did y'all hear that? No, you're not, dummy. Reverse it. No, you're not, Sinji. You're not an egg. You're not a sperm. Neither one can create life without the other. The video proved that. Or I guess I just made that up. If a woman has a period, again, I'm not a gynecologist, but I do read books, since that's what you suggest to these men on the panel. I do read. And reading in these books, it tells me that every month, for a certain amount of years, a woman has what she calls a cycle. And during that cycle, if she does not, get pregnant, her body dispels that egg. It makes room for a new, fresher egg, i.e. the period, the uterine walls clean itself. And that's including that old egg that was in there. Am I correct? Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I think I've got the general gist of what I'm talking about. Either way, as long as that egg is not fertilized by a sperm, it is exactly what it is, an egg. Nothing more. It is not human life. It is an egg with the potential for human life. Just like the sperm, it is what it is. It is a sperm until it reaches that egg through that treacherous journey that we just all saw. 300 million sperm. And only one gets to fertilize the egg. And in rare instances, where we're talking about twins, where 2 eggs are fertilized, or in even more rare instances, to where the same egg is fertilized and the 2 children are identical twins. But either way, all this that I'm just saying that just happened, Sinji, cannot happen without the egg and cannot happen without the sperm. But y'all gonna hear more that somebody, not only Sinji disagrees with me right now. There's gonna be a whole lot of folks that's gonna say no. But these are the folks y'all follow by the drone.
Get into a biology book.
The egg already there, James.
So we don't need
Dummy, no.
The egg already there,
You're the egg
James.
in her body, dummy.
We gotta tell the truth now.
Idiot, you're the egg in her body. You're the egg.
Hold up.
The only
I
thing
just
the
walked
man
away.
is
I just
doing,
walked away.
the
Don't
only
say
thing the man is
Did he
doing
say
is turning
sperm?
you into a boy instead of a girl. That is what the man is doing. Yeah, he's an idiot. Like
Did he say we the
So you don't realize.
Again, Sin, you are wrong. Without the 23 chromosomes from the male and the 23 chromosomes from the female, that determines the characteristics of whether you're going to have brown eyes, whether you're going to be short, tall, fat, skinny. And the reasons why we have children with, I guess, mental things and different things like that, autism, because one of those chromosomes got crossed. Again, I'm not a scientist, I'm not a doctor, but I do read, and I do retain some things. So what you're saying right now, in this stream, I surely hope you go back and make a correction to. Because right now you are absolutely positively wrong. Yes, you are an egg. Once it's fertilized by that male sperm. If not, you would not need to go to a fertility clinic, or men would not need to go to a sperm bank to jack off in a cup to match an egg with a potential donor. Oh, this guy has blue eyes, he's about 6'5" or whatever. Your chances of, you see what I'm saying? Yeah, we can almost get selective about what kind of child we have. Almost. But the process itself, there's only two ways to get pregnant these days. That's naturally, or the other way, as they call them, test tube babies. That's it. But I don't give a damn how much you shake an egg in a test tube. If you ain't got no sperm in it, you ain't got no baby. And that's in any animal kingdom, whether you mammal or even a fish needs to fertilize their eggs. Come on, Miss Lady. Look at all those folks on this panel agreeing with you simply because they don't want to upset you while you on your drill.
Like, I can't believe that they still don't know that sperm fertilizes an egg.
That's what he
The
said.
land can't grow trees without the seed.
Right. So there's no baby without an egg. All men do is provide fertilizer, you moron.
Right, so that's where we all started from.
No, you all started from a egg.
I'm not.
An egg.
You are.
I'm not sure who else is this. I'm not sure of this other female's voice. I don't want to call out the wrong name, but I'm not sure. It's the person that's in the middle here with the hat on that you just heard that said, no, you all start out as eggs. Again, I'll say this to you, young lady. An egg is an egg is an egg. Just like those chicken eggs that you have in your refrigerator, those are unfertilized chickens. They're never going to be chickens because you know why? So I guess roosters don't have sperm, huh? I'm wrong. I guess you and a woman can lay down tomorrow and in 9 months y'all can produce a baby. Yeah. Without going to a man or a sperm bank. Yeah, I'd like to see that. I bet you y'all be some rich motherfuckers to produce that miracle. Even Mary had to have Joseph's sperm. Damn.
Already there,
If men decide to not have sex with women, women cannot breed babies.
Oh, absolutely they can.
How can you breed
And
babies
you can't
on
breed
your
them
own?
either, James.
If that's the case, we don't need men.
There was a time when women did breed on their own, and plenty species do. And
When was the time in human history that women breeded on their own? When was the time that a woman was able to conceive a child on her own? When was the time that two women laid down in the human history of us and created life? When? Is no one in this room going to challenge this? Of course not. Because they didn't. You can look at the chat for yourself. They're in there laughing and giggling, agreeing with the person that just said that. When in the history of mankind has a woman created a child on her own without that other half of the life-giving substance that we call sperm? When? Where's it documented at? The fuck? Really? And you call yourself educated and you can stand up in front of somebody like Donald Trump and say with uncertainty and impunity that you are right? The fuck, lady? Wait a minute, man, I'm gonna make sure I hear that again.
I have sex with women. Women cannot breed babies.
oh, absolutely they can.
How can you breed
And you
babies
can't
on
breed
your
them
own?
either, James.
If that's the case, we don't need men.
There was a time when women did breed on their own, and plenty species do. And quite frankly, if black women want to go have babies,
Well, yeah, there are species that breed amongst each other. There are creatures that can change from their sex, from they can be asexual. Most of them are single celled, like they call them what, amoebas or something like that, to where they can change their sex depending on the weather and their environment around like that. Humankind has not evolved to that level yet. There's no man on this earth that has a uterus. There's no woman on this earth that has a fucking scrotum. Well, I take that back. It might be. You know, Boston backbangers is what I call them. They have two sexes. They have, you were born with two male and female genitalia. But you know what I'm saying. There's male parts that a woman just don't have. Just as a male don't have some female parts. That's the beauty of man and woman. You got to be kidding me with that answer, Miss Lady.
Yeah, he believed it. Like he,
Cynthia, do you think we
so you don't realize what fertilizer is. Like, I can't believe that they still don't know that sperm fertilizes an egg.
That's what he
The
said.
land can grow trees without the seed.
You know, right? So there's no baby without an egg. All men do is provide fertilizer. You moron.
Right, so that's where we all started from.
No, you all started from a egg. I'm not an egg.
You already there, James.
If men decide to not have sex with women, women cannot breed babies.
Oh, absolutely they can.
How can you breed
And
babies
you can't
on
breed
your
them
own?
either, James.
If that's the case, we don't need men.
There was a time when women did breed on their own, and plenty species do. And quite frankly, if black women want to go have babies, they can go to sperm
You
banks
show
and
me
get
that.
it.
You just tell. I like to see
We
that.
have all
happen
the
for real.
equipment needed to make children. You don't.
Can you show me it?
I can't show you shit.
Because I don't want to hear no more.
So women carry sperm now? Is that what you're trying to tell me, Miss Lady? Whoever just said that? Women have a sperm sac now? I think octopuses do. I think seahorses do. But I've never known a woman to carry around a sperm sac to where she can decide, you know what, I want to get pregnant this week. Let me release my sperm sac. Let me fertilize this egg that I'm carrying, and let me produce a child on my own. That's right. We can eliminate men if I could do this. I'm sure some of y'all women would love that. I'm sure some of y'all women would love to eliminate men, but you can't. And not continue to have babies, whether you do it naturally or unnaturally at a local hospital. The building block of life comes from our loins, whether you want to believe it or not. At least half of it does. There's no getting around that. For whoever who says that life is only an egg, you are an idiot for saying that. Since you're out there calling everybody else morons, you are a moron for saying that stupid shit. Life is an egg. If that's the case, women wouldn't have periods every month. I'm not a woman, but damn, I'm not stupid either.
Read a book.
But why do we have to do? Let me tell you something. Here's the thing, Remedial James. If the father is dead, who do they test in order to see whether that father was the father of a child? Who do they test? If they're the baby in question, I'm asking Remedial James. Why would you answer for him?
I'm sorry.
Why? Yeah, why would you answer for him? I didn't even ask you, I asked James.
Well,
The bottom line is,
get him another one, Sin.
no, because it's like, I don't like that she just did that, but whatever. It's like, stop belling out trash bag bandits. He's Remedial. Let him try to use his brain on his own. It's like, I thought Taz was the only special ed teacher, but clearly we have another one on here. The bottom line is...
My bad. I work with babies all day. So, I'm trying to help out. My bad.
So, listen.
telling me that don't mean what y'all said is accurate though.
No, it means what we know. You talk.
And he's absolutely right. Just because y'all making jokes about it and just because y'all making fun of him, that don't mean shit. That don't make what you say right. In this case, you're 100% wrong. Both of you ladies up there keying. The egg is on you. The yolk is on you. Because you're the one that's the dummies. My man is absolutely right. Without penetration, however slight, or without you going to a fertility clinic to get it up in you, you ain't having no babies, period. I don't give a fuck what you say. Two women, y'all can bump uglies till the break of dawn, but I guarantee you, you're gonna wake up in the morning. One thing you ain't got to worry about being is pregnant. That's for damn sure.
You talking means that what we're saying is accurate. Whenever you talk,
James, that's
you
what
prove us right.
said. Don't even pay attention to it, bro. Don't even pay attention to it. Just listen. Just listen.
He's just dumb. The bottom line of it is, if a baby is born,
man said we come from sperm, bro.
yeah, because he's an idiot. Because he's an idiot. Male DNA is irrelevant. Male DNA is completely irrelevant. It is completely irrelevant.
Did y'all hear that? Male DNA is completely irrelevant, according to the mind of Senji. Male DNA is completely irrelevant. If you don't believe me, listen to she says it again.
Yeah, because he's an idiot. Because he's an idiot. Male DNA is irrelevant. Male DNA is completely irrelevant. It is completely irrelevant. Nobody's testing anybody's grandfather. Everyone. Like I've
experimented.
Since they kind of skipped around that question that Senji asked, if the baby father was dead, how would they prove paternity? What they would do is go back to a relative. It's called mitochondrial DNA, to where they would go back to a relative and test that DNA versus the DNA of that child and see how close of a match it is. It's almost impossible to say someone's in your family that's not. According to DNA. DNA says it all. It's who you are. It's like your fingerprint. It's who you are. Half of it comes from your father and half of it comes from your mother. That makes up who you are. How could DNA be irrelevant? Senji, please answer that fucking question for me. How could it be irrelevant? You're the moron to say some shit like that, and you're supposed to be an educated black woman. The fuck? And you got folks up in there giggling like you right. Get the fuck out of here.
And put my sperm in my woman and give her a baby. Let me see if that works.
You're dumb. And you shouldn't even be on the panel. You're too stupid to be on the panel. You need to be putting your dumb remedial nose in every book that you can so you cannot sound as stupid as you do. You're an embarrassment to everyone. Like we've been listening to this sheer stupidity.
You're absolutely right. Y'all have been listening to sheer stupidity out of the very person that was just talking. Sheer stupidity to say that male DNA is irrelevant. Sheer stupidity to someone to say that they're educated. How the fuck did you, I don't know if you got children or not, but how the fuck you got here? For all of you that's on the panel giggling, laughing like that man said something wrong, how the fuck did y'all get here? Babies do not come from cabbage leaves. Storks do not deliver babies. One or two ways. You're fucking or planting one up in you. That's it. Either way, it needs a man or it needs a woman. Or excuse me. Let's go through the whole animal kingdom. Either way, it needs male and female to create life. Cynthia G. And all you ignorant motherfuckers up on the panel laughing. Come on now. Taz, you didn't allow this to go on your panel, bro. You supposed to check this. You were supposed to correct this shit here, brother.
For hours. We've been listening to it. And it's frustrating that a black man would be this stupid and not even attempt to educate himself. You can't afford to be sitting on a panel sounding this stupid with all of these stereotypes out here that you're the dumbest person on the face of the earth, and you're proving it. You're proving that black men are dumb. That's what you're doing.
Well, I'm about to experiment and put my sperm in my woman and give her a baby. Let me see if that works.
You do recognize that you're still talking about a woman that you still need in order to make a child. So at the end of the day, it doesn't really matter what you put your sperm into. It's still going to be a woman that's going to be producing your kid.
Hold on. If black man got the baby, then go shoot your nut up another struggle bandit's booty hole and have him create a baby then, dummy. Go give a man a baby then. If you got the baby, go give one to a man then.
God made man and woman to procreate with each other. I got the sperm, you got the I'm the seed, you the land. And
no, dummy. That's no, you the fertilizer. No, dummy, you're the fertilizer. And like I said, then go put your seed in a man's body and get a baby then. Because if the sperm is, if the baby.
I'll ask you again. I don't give a damn how much a man loves another man. I don't give a damn how much he run it up in a man. He ain't gonna have no baby. Men are physically incapable of becoming pregnant. Sinji. Maybe you're saying that just to be sarcastic, but that's just goes to show you sometimes no matter what you tell some people, they will argue down with wrong facts. Because they believe that what they're saying is factual. And they'll keep on and on saying the same thing. Hopefully somebody on the panel will agree with them. And this guy comes in and says, you realize that you can't have a baby without a woman. That's exactly what he's saying, dumbass. So maybe you should have addressed what you just said. Maybe you should have addressed that to Sinji, saying, Sinji, you realize he's right. You do realize that he is right.
If the baby then the sperm, go put it in a bussy hole and get you a baby then.
Why is that such an issue to accept that your sperm is fertilizer? Why is that so difficult to conceive in your mind and not have that?
Okay, can you break down what is a fertilizer? What is it?
I think that's what he learned that's what it is, Kev. He don't know.
But you know, this channel actually every time Taz go live,
You know, I think sometimes folks don't understand the difference between fertilizer and fertilization. Fertilizer is, something you put on plants. It helps it grow. But fertilization is the creation of something. It's when those 23 chromosomes from the mom and the 23 chromosomes from the dad, when they meet together in that special place in the woman's body and they create life. That's fertilization. Fertilizer is when you already plant something in the ground. The seed's already up and growing. You fertilize your grass. You fertilize your roses so that will produce more. But at some point in time, that seed had to have been fertilized by something, pollinated or whatever. Everything needs the male chromosome. Everything, every living thing on this earth needs the male and female chromosome to be successful. And again, there's some exceptions in life to where there's creatures out there that's able to switch up. But it's very few and far between. And human beings are not one of those creatures. So I don't understand how you folks could sit up here on this panel for the hours that she said that you were on here and get to this point to where you're arguing about someone about the creation of life and call yourself a valid content creator. Not in this case. It's got to be a joke.
This is not for children. I feel like we're having, this is ridiculous that you're asking what is fertilizer.
Because y'all trying to dissolve the big role of a man.
Nobody's trying to do.
Nobody's dissolving anything. Really, if anything, you're trying to dissolve the importance of a woman. Why don't you just look it up? Do you have a dictionary?
No, it's reality. It's reality. We come from our dad's nut. We all know.
Your dad
You don't.
Did you hear how many people just now said, no, 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 you don't? Yes, you do. He might have said it. It might have said it, kind of roughly, but he's right. When your dad ejaculates inside of your mama, and through those 300 million sperm that travels through the passage of the different parts of the woman's body to go and fertilize that egg, it all begins from that sexual act, from penetration, however slight. Each one of those little soldiers has everything about that man inside of it. That one little sperm carries everything about every building block about that man. And that egg carries every building block about that woman. And until those two building blocks get together, there's no such thing as a human. One is still a sperm and one is still an egg. God damn, is that hard to believe?
They lied to you.
If our dad would have pulled it out, none of us would have been here.
They lied to you.
My thing is that there's nothing wrong with actually being known as a fertilizer. There's nothing wrong with that. You guys make it something that is you diminish it. Really, you diminish your own value, trying to make it more than what it is, trying to diminish other people's, trying to diminish women's value as an egg and as the seed. What's wrong with this being
what I'm saying is, it
fertilizer?
starts off with the dad. We in our dad's nuts. And when
you are not. If that was the case, you would be birthing people out of your penis right now. So that's.
Did you hear that, idiot? If that were the case, you would be birthing people out your penis. You are an idiot to say that, because you should know better as a grown man that men do not physically carry what it has or what it takes to produce or carry a child. The only part of human life that a man has is carried in his balls, and there it's tucked away safely until he has sex with a woman and he ejaculates inside that woman. How many times I got to say this? And 9 months later or 10 months later, or some women have early births, a little human comes out with half the characteristics of the mama and half the characteristics of the daddy. Hence, boy, you look like your damn daddy. What's so hard about believing that? What is the argument about? This, I only recorded 15 minutes of it, but this argument went on for hours.
It's not reality.
Just because we don't
You'll be birthing people out of your penis. That does not work.
Value.
I wanted to stop right there. I wanted you to read that comment. That you see where the yellow circle is at right there? I don't know if you folks can see it, but again, I don't have my glasses on. But let's see if I can read it. Here it is. It's the human reproductive system is more complicated, but it can be manipulated manually. The only place the human reproductive system can be manipulated manually is when a woman goes into a fertility clinic and doesn't conceive the natural way. Everything else, once that sperm is placed up in the woman, the doctors don't even control that. The woman might have been able to go to the fertility clinic and said, okay, I filled out a form of this and this, but even the male's identity is not known to the woman. She's just matching up. She's putting on a piece of paper the qualities that of a man that she would like to have her child with. Educated, this, that, Harvard, and all this, all those DNA things that we talk about that might be good for us. Woman chooses that. That's where it can be manipulated at. And hopefully the thing that you chose at the fertility bank, the sperm bank, matches and turns out to the little human that you was looking for, with the qualities of you and the qualities of the sperm that you chose. You do not go to a sperm bank to get an egg. Now there is a way that if there's a woman that's not able to have a child, that she can have a surrogate. Someone can carry the child for her. But let me say this: no matter how you look at it, when the egg is taken out of one woman's body and placed into another, y'all correct me if I'm wrong, the only thing the host is doing, it's feeding that egg. It's feeding that life that was created somewhere else. They just transferred life from one body, from one woman's womb to the other woman's womb. Will it still have the qualities of the original mother? Yes, it will. Will it inherently take on some of the qualities of the host? Yes, it will. It has to. But one thing that won't change in that is the makeup that the father put in, i.e., the person that impregnated you, whether it was natural or at the lab. That part is not going to change. Correct me if I'm wrong. Somebody please stop me. I'm smoking.
Hey, do you know that sperm doesn't even have a lot of value? You realize that, right? It does not even have a lot of value.
Nuts. And when he
Yep, we had to give a moment of silence on that, because there's someone else saying a sperm does not have a whole lot of value. Ladies and gents on that panel, the sperm is just as valuable as the egg when it comes to creating life, because without either one, you cannot create life. Dummies.
You realize that, right? It does not even have a lot of value. The amount of money, shut your dumb ass up. Shut your dumb ass up. No, you do not.
You don't. They lied to you.
If our dad would have pulled out, none of us would have been here.
They lied to you.
Speak before, and I kind of a little bit took it out on you, so sorry about that. That was my bad. I didn't mean to.
No, ma'am. Don't even worry about that. I completely.
Our kids look more like than hers will.
Bro, you trolling at this, bro.
If I have 5 kids, if the woman had 5 kids by 5 different baby daddies, and let's say I'm her baby daddy, I'm one of her baby daddies, and I got 5 kids of my own. The kid that I got by her would look more like my kids that I got on my own than her kids by her.
How we? No, that doesn't always work that way.
I don't know how it wouldn't work that way. If he has 5 children and he go and has a 6th child, yes, that child will favor his other 5 children because he is the father of those. He provided half the DNA of that said child, that 6th child. Will that child have some of the qualities of the mother? Yes. Folks, let me just say it like this. Have you ever been around a family that the nephews, the uncles, the great uncles, and all that, they all look similar? If you go back, and I know in my family, my sister's husband family, all of them at some point in time when they were growing up, they looked at each other. They looked like each other, I should say, based on the DNA from male of families and generations that were passed down. You didn't have to ask these folks who their families were, because when you saw them, you knew. Or you and so uncle or cousin. Yeah, you're right. Oh, I know your uncle, I know your cousin. And some even say that about my children. Here's a case in point. One of my sons came to Atlanta, and I was living in Atlanta. He got a job at a restaurant. One of my nephew's teachers was having dinner at said restaurant. My son was her waiter, and she said, "Hi, how you doing? I haven't seen you since school. How you been?" And my son looked at her and said, "Excuse me?" And she called my son by my nephew's name. You see what I'm saying? DNA is some powerful shit, especially on the male side. That's why a lot of white women that have mulatto children, as they say, a lot of the father's DNA is present, and the hairstyle and the skin color, although they do appear as fair-skinned, but you can tell there's a hint of, dare I say, black in them. Blake Shelton, I'm sorry, not Blake Shelton, Blake Griffin, the basketball player. What's his name? Stephon Curry. And if I look on the panel, Sinji, if I go another back into your history, into your DNA, I'll probably find a white male that impregnated someone in your family. Hence, the color of your skin. So male DNA is prominent, is paramount to who you are and what you are and what you become. Without it, you are absolutely nothing. You are not even born without male sperm or DNA. You're not even born. You're not even human. You're an egg that don't get fertilized, will get flushed out. What, every 28, 30 days? That's all I got to say about that, folks. Be careful who you follow. I told you, keeping it real. Keeping it real go wrong sometimes.
How would you really determine that? Because you can still produce a child.
Okay. No, you can't produce a child. No, you still can't. You can't produce a child without a man or a woman. Okay, get that straight. You cannot produce a child without man or woman. Can I get an explosion on that? Let me get on up out of here, folks. Appreciate y'all hanging out there with me. Not trying to be, I'm not disrespecting anyone, but you said something I felt needed to be corrected. Don't get mad. Prove me wrong. You can't go on these panels and say male DNA isn't important and think nobody was going to give you some pushback. Be glad it's just me and not one of your arch enemies. Look at that census right there. Nowhere on there says biracial.